joins us. And hey, let's go just to current events. Last night, you got a chance to speak in front of the Cowboy faithful. You and Donovan Woods with Larry Reese and Mike Gundy. Were there any other coaches there?
Yeah, Holiday was there.
Oh, Josh Holiday,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then
He
Kurt.
just got a commitment from a kid here in Kingfisher.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't mention that last night, but he
Well,
said he's got some great
he's
things going.
he's a freshman in high school, so he
Ah,
can't talk about him
right,
yet. But
right, okay.
yeah,
He did mention there were guys that he can't talk to that he's looking at. Yeah. And Chris,
Chris Young,
yeah, the girls
women's tennis, yeah,
tennis coach, yeah.
they got it going now.
That
That's a good
facility is
program.
out of control, man.
It is pretty nice,
Yeah.
and now they're about to drop off this soccer facility on Sunday night.
Oh, is it opening?
It's at Bedlam, first game in there.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to be it's amazing.
It's a good looking facility when you drive by.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty. So what'd you say to the folks last night? Because I mean, was the lightning and thunder rolling while you were talking?
It was going. It was storming up a storm, I guess you'd say, and it was just a great evening, though. That's the first caravan I've ever done, and I was completely impressed with the turnout, with the spirit that was in the room, how excited the people were. It really got me going. And this morning, I actually texted Larry and said, "Man, when are you doing another one? I want to do another one." It's just a lot of fun.
Well, and here's the deal: there is a whole group of students that I think the students that are at Oklahoma State right now. Their parents were the ones that went to the Eddie Sutton years, and they're the ones that really kicked up the attitude and the atmosphere for Oklahoma State basketball. And they heard their parents talk about these stories, so I think they're eager for some good things to happen. I like Coach Boynton. I like what he's doing. I think this next year, if OSU fans will be patient, last year was better than you thought.
Right.
I mean, you beat Kansas 3 times.
That is ridiculous. Yeah,
I
that
mean
was
twice.
ridiculous.
I wanted to give them the third one. They beat them twice.
Yes.
Um, and you beat Oklahoma at home. You beat a lot of ranked teams. You went in the NIT and made a nice run. Last year was probably better. This year, and I'll be anxious to hear what you have to say because you saw the kids and the team before they took off for Italy and Greece. This year, this year may be that tough year where you have to build up a little bit, but I do think it's going to get better. So before we finish up with last night, I'm sure Larry asked you what you thought of the guys last night for the crowd. So
Yeah.
what did you say?
Well, I think they're going to be better than people think. I think that
Right now they think last place.
right,
Their preseason pick last. I agree with you on that.
and I think they're going to do better than that. I
agree.
think that some of the talent that he's got in is going to surprise some people. They're going to be a little bit more athletic, I think, than people realize. And if you can get some of these guys that they're bringing in, that they're having to transform their bodies,
Yes.
right, to get to
Both
Big 12,
ways.
yes,
Some bigger and,
Yes.
one ideal, one smaller.
smaller, and he's already making inroads. He's lost about 30 pounds. You
Yeah.
see his picture that they posted when they signed him.
Kentravius Jones, yeah.
When they signed him, he's a doughboy. I mean, but he's sharpening up and looking better, and I think they're going to be better than people think. And then Cam is looking like a
Yeah.
monster. He's super strong. He's only gotten better. He's only gotten faster, and I think you center your offense around him in some fashion, and I think they're going to be better than what people think.
I want to ask you this, and this may not be the order, but the Eddie Sutton documentary, you know about that?
Yep.
Have you been interviewed for that?
No, I had an opportunity. I had to work, and I couldn't get to town. They were doing something at the Hard Rock Cafe and Casino,
in Tulsa.
and I wasn't able to make it. I got stuck at work, but that was my chance to be interviewed for the deal. So I don't think I'm going to make the cut.
And that bothers me because I thought you and Coach Sutton had an interesting relationship,
Absolutely.
and I think Coach Sutton learned things from you because I don't think he'd had a player quite like you,
Yeah.
and I think you learned things from Coach
Oh,
Sutton.
absolutely.
And if correct me if I'm wrong, in the beginning, maybe stubbornly for both, But in the end, hey, what's up, buddy? I got a friend over here. Good looking dog. Anyway, in the end, good.
Yes, yes. So, and I said this while last night, actually. When you play for coach, you hate him. When you play for him, you hate him. And and it's like that. It's like that fatherly hate, right? Where he's always trying to make you do the right thing. Who wants to do that? Nobody wants to do that, man. I don't want to play the offense the way I should. I want to play the offense the way I want to play it,
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
I've been watching Michael Jordan. Let me show you what I can do over here, right? So, but at the end of it all, the thing you realize after your 4 years with coach is that he's coaching basketball, but he's teaching you life, and you learn that as you go through the program. You get to the end, and you realize that this guy has just taught me how to be a man, and I think that's when the love starts.
No, I would agree with you on that. I do think some guys may see it even before that, but those may be. I thought Desmond did, and they went through a rough patch. But I thought Desmond saw it, and then, but I think Gottlieb's experience was Gottlieb's experience was interesting
Unique.
because, yeah, it was extremely unique. And you know what? There's a case of if anybody ever needed to be coached by Eddie Sutton, it was Gottlieb.
He was the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if he
So
could have went to another program
no.
and been as successful, even make it through it, right? With
Yeah.
that guy, who knew? Right?
Yeah.
So
So
he made a 180 transition from Notre Dame to there.
and see, I don't really I want to stick with the OSU stuff, but we can talk we can swap Gottlieb stories because we were around for the Oklahoma Storm,
Hmm.
and I remember one time when I think it was the owner of the team up in Enid called me and Bryant and
Yeah.
said, next road trip we need you to are you okay with rooming with Gottlieb? And I said, yeah, I guess so. I don't
Yeah.
have a problem. He goes, I said, that's unusual for the radio guy to room with a player. Not unusual to room with an assistant coach,
Right.
which is what I'd been doing. But he said, yeah, well, none of the other guys want to room with me.
Oh, that's probably true.
Okay.
That's
so,
probably true.
so I said, okay. I mean, if that's the way it's going to be, I could
That's
deal with it.
probably true.
Oh yeah, that was
That's funny.
that was interesting. All right, you had a chance to see him, and we talked a little bit about but um, what do you think of Coach Boynton and the way they coach this team? And I know you don't see enough of it probably to really get detailed, but I just like everything about it, and I love the fact Scott's a part of this.
I think it's a perfect combination of those two. When you first heard of the possibility of Scott coming in, of course, as a Scott fan, as a fan of the program and the history, having a Sutton back seemed like a no-brainer. But then you look a little bit deeper, and it's like, wow, well, he's a head coach. Boynton's a head coach. How's this going to work? Is Scott going to be able to be a subordinate? How does this happen? This is his alma mater. This is kind of his home. But Scott has handled it so professionally. Boynton has handled it professionally. And they really, really complement one another. And they come from experience levels and different vantage points where they're able to make things work. They mesh. And it's just a perfect mix.
The cool thing about it, and it told me a lot about Mike Boynton because here's the Sutton name, which is, the
On the
most
court.
yeah, on the court, most famous name in OSU basketball, other than maybe Iba. You're a first-time head coach, and you've only been in Stillwater a couple of years. Yet when somebody says, "Hey, this guy's available. What do you think?" I mean, Boynton showed me a lot of confidence in himself. Didn't hesitate. Said, if he's a good coach, let me talk to him. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And he didn't. He did not. Didn't blink an eye. He
He's
said, "Hey,
secure in himself.
very."
And I think the thing that shines through when you talk to him, when you see how he interacts with his players, is I've bought in on what he's doing, and I feel like he wants to turn OSU into his for lack of a better term, I'm gonna use it as a comparison. He wants to turn OSU into his Duke. He wants to be the Krzyzewski of OSU,
That's
build the
cool.
program, stay at the program, and keep it at a high level for a long time.
Hey, Levi, are you still in control, or we got Zach back?
I'm still here.
Okay. Hey, Levi, can you run the ID here, and we'll catch the break here in a few minutes. I don't want to get you or anybody in trouble with the FCC. Run the ID because I just thought of something I wanted to ask Chianti, and this may take more than a couple of minutes.
KOSB, Perry Stillwater. KOKP, Perry Stillwater. KOKP, Blackwell, Ponca City. It's Triple Play Sports Radio, your home for live and local sports talk.
All right, this is just a tangent that I'm getting off on.
Okay.
Okay, you and I were with the Storm, so we played back east. Remember, we played
Yeah,
the Brooklyn team. They were Long Island, but the game was in Brooklyn. It was in that old looking
Dingy,
theater thing. Yeah,
weird
which
deal, yeah.
Long Island University, which is so cool. But the first thing I thought of when Mike Boynton was hired was I've walked those streets he's walked. You know, he and I were talking, and I mentioned that restaurant. We went to a restaurant after the game against Brooklyn. That was a soul food restaurant.
Yeah.
Absolutely one of the best meals
Oh,
I've
yeah.
ever had.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was awesome.
God, you bringing back
Yeah.
memories.
Oh,
Yeah.
the catfish and the macaroni and cheese and the
It was-
collard
it was the
greens.
real deal.
Oh my God, it's
It's
the
the
real
real
deal.
deal. Yeah.
And so I'm bringing this up to him, and he knows these places. In fact, that's really close now to where the Barclays Center was built, kind of right across
okay,
the street
okay.
from where we play. Anyway, so having gone back there, being an Oklahoma guy, and going back there, and because I liked the city, I liked the Brooklyn people, and I thought it was a cool deal. I think it's kind of neat that our coach comes from there.
Yeah. Well, I think it adds a little diversity, right?
It
so
does.
You need that in this day and age because the market now is so global. You might have an in on a kid in New York. You might
And
be
he
able
would
to get,
come here.
Yes, and you might have a chance at a kid in California. Whereas before, when Eddie was in the '90s, you pretty much stayed regionally. Now every now and then you bite on a guy and by proxy somehow they know somebody and you get in the door. But now all these games are televised. You have a national reach, and you need somebody that has the ability to connect that. And he is the guy, in my opinion, he's the guy that can do it.
I agree with you. One other thing, and this crosses over, and I know Keani is a sports fan, period. You're probably excited about the upcoming football season. Donovan was with you there last night, Donovan Woods. I thought Mike Gundy said something. I don't know if sometimes Coach Gundy just thinks of things and throws it out there. Sometimes it's something that's in his brain for a long time, and he finally pulls it out. It can be either way. But I thought he paid Donovan and his brothers a huge compliment last night when he said, you know what, Donovan, Rashawn, Dewan, those guys, the way they played and represented and handled themselves and represented their family while they were at Oklahoma State, they really were the start of the cowboy culture before we knew we were going to build a cowboy culture. And I thought that was a huge compliment for Donovan.
No, I think you're right. And the thing that always comes to mind when I think about Donovan is, strangely enough, a story you told. It was preseason sometime. I can't remember what year. He was still the quarterback.
Right.
And you were at practice. This is the story as you told it. You were at practice, and they were scrimmaging. And so pretty much during that scrimmage session, they marched down the field on the defense, and it was basically a lot of running plays with maybe one or two passing plays. And when they got down and scored the touchdown, you remarked how Donovan stood up and was like, we're down here because of y'all. We're down here because of you guys. And he was pointing and talking to the offensive lineman. And he was patting everybody on the head. We're down here because of you. You got us down here. This is all y'all. This is all you. And I just love that story because I think that typifies everything you need to know about Donovan, everything you need to know about the family. He is a consummate professional, a consummate motivator, and loves seeing other people succeed. And that's the kind of culture that we've garnered at Oklahoma State: a tough mentality, a work hard, great work ethic, to be prideful and true, and let others or help others succeed.
Yeah, and I don't know if Larry told this story last night about Donovan, but he called me yesterday and asked me, what do you give me some stuff for Donovan and Chianti because we're going to talk to him tonight. And I gave him some good stuff on you. I didn't do any of the pro stuff, but
That doesn't count.
yeah. Hey, what happens on the road, the pros stays on the road. But no, with Donovan, I told him, I said, you know what? Ask him about that last preseason game, his rookie year with the Steelers, because they played the Vikings, and it was in the last preseason game. They're just playing the guys that are going to get cut the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they put Donovan out there at linebacker. He had like 9 tackles. I mean, he was throwing Vikings all over the place.
Really?
And it was almost like, you think you're going to cut me, you ain't cutting me. And sure enough, when I expected him to get cut, the next day he wasn't on the cut list. Vikings, the Steelers said, "You're with us," and he ended up with a Super Bowl ring out of it.
Yeah, he talked about that last night,
So I told Larry, ask him about that last preseason game because you know this from your experiences. Trying to make it in the pros, you may get that one night,
one shot,
and you got to do it or not do it, and that's the way it goes. But
and you never feel
it's
right.
a little Millwood pride in there too, along with OSU pride.
Absolutely.
So
I know all about Millwood. 2 of my my aunt and my uncle both graduated from Millwood, so I'm very familiar with Millwood. Yeah.
So, hey man, good to see
can
you.
I make a shameless
Sure,
plug?
Go ahead.
Okay, so for the OSU contingent, I want everybody to know I've started a T-shirt company.
Okay.
And it's a pretty cool deal. It's Harvey Nicole. It's harveynicole.com. It's the names of my children.
Right.
Harvest is my son, and my daughter's name Nicole. harveynicole.com. You can go there and order your shirts. And it's all Oklahoma inspired. My designer is one of the best in the country. He's been and is the lead designer for Eskimo Joe's Clothes. So
Mike?
No, my guy does the graphic arts.
Oh, graphic arts. Okay.
Yeah. And he is Oklahoma. He's Native American, so he has a Native American influence, and he's just incredible. So it's quality stuff, and it's harveynicole.com. Everything is about Oklahoma. All we do is Oklahoma-inspired T-shirts, and we just started that deal up, and it's going great. And so if you're listening, go to harveynicole.com and buy a couple of shirts.
HARVEY NICOLE.com. Okay.
Yeah.
HarveyNicole.com.
Yeah.
I'll write that down, and we'll mention that again a few times.
Share that deal. Share that deal.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Chianti, I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on.
Best to you, and I'm sure we'll see you around Stillwater some.
I came at the right time. That was a great deal.
That was perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
Absolutely. All right, man.
All right.
Okay.
Chianti Roberts, former Cowboy that is doing well. And, again, check out that T-shirt, harveynicole.com T-shirt, Oklahoma-inspired T-shirts. So, hey, I like anything that people name their kid, name after their kids. That's a good deal. That's the heart in the right place kind of stuff. So, all right, we need to take a time out. We're late getting there, but we got the ID in. We'll catch up. I promise you that. Here at Johnson's of Kingfisher. Always enjoy being here. Stay with us.
It's the show for fans that bleed orange. It's the Robert Allen and Friends Show on Triple Play Sports Radio.